My wife looked at me and says, what if it's your turn to be Bill Malone on the #1 TV show in the world? She said, John, this show ain't about winning or losing. Go be Bill Malone and maybe change somebody's life like Bill changed yours. Now, I'm a Matthew McConaughey fan. I like his movies, rom-com. So, clearly I stood up and I was like, all right. Now that is 100% true, and that is especially the story we say in my house after I went on the #1 TV show in the world and lost to a 12-year-old with a ukulele. There's only one thing worse than losing to a 12-year-old with a ukulele on the #1 TV show in the world. And that's being an active NFL football player returning to an NFL locker room the morning after losing to a 12-year-old with a ukulele. Don't feel bad, because the show came to me shortly after and said, hey, we got you graded as the top 10 acts in the world, which I thought was really cool. We're doing a show. Thank you for the reminder. So, we're doing a show called AGT World Champions, and we want you to compete. You're going to compete against the top acts in the world. You want to do it? I said, you better believe I want to do it. I brought my A game, and I'm proud to stand in front of everybody here and tell you this. I did not lose to a 12-year-old with a ukulele. Get off me back. No, I did not. I placed right behind that 14-year-old with a bucket. Hey, if you ever do TV, don't follow a kid, don't follow a dog. It doesn't work. It's just not a good thing. So I do the show, mad publicity. I go back to Philadelphia for my 14th season. I now have the record for the most consecutive games played in Eagles history, which I never thought I would break the record. So the following training camp, I was not expecting the general manager of the Eagles to come to me and say, John, we're going to trade you. What? You can't trade me. I'm the Magic Man now. Fans, they're calling my name, like they know who I am. Come on. Can't trade me. But no matter how bad things get, come to terms with your reality, find forgiveness, hope, happiness. More out with change comes opportunity. It's a new door. So I said, Howie, come here. That's our GM. Howie, come here. Did you just say you're trading me? I'm the longest tenured athlete in the entire state of Pennsylvania. All pro sports. Nobody's been on a team longer than I have here. I'm a long snapper, right? So has there ever been a long snapper traded for? I've never heard of this. We're usually league minimum cut fired guys. Howie looks at me and says, no, we think you're the first long snapper to ever be traded for. It's great news. Breaking records, Howie. Wait a minute. So they get me, which means they're going to give you something in return? What are you guys getting, like a washer and dryer? Like, what are we doing here? I'm 38 years old. What are we doing? They're going to give us a draft pick. A draft pick? I wasn't even drafted coming out of college, which means this team thinks I'm worth more now than I was 15 years ago when I was 22. Wrap it up, let's go. And if we got any Houdat fans, they traded me on down to New Orleans, baby. We got Houdat. Houdat, baby, yeah. All right, well, let's not get too excited. I was only there 4 days. So. But in those 4 days, you ready for this? All black uniforms, slimming for an aging pudgy guy. I signed an extension for millions and millions and millions and millions, and I was the highest paid guy in the history of my position. Indoor stadium, 13 of the 16 games are indoors. Let's go! No more snow and wind. I played with the Drew Brees in a couple Pro Bowls throughout my career, but I never screwed up in a game with him. So I got traded right before a game. So I landed, I played, and I got a picture in the same uniform as one of the greatest of all time. How about that? So the next morning, well, when you get traded, you got to do a physical. So the next morning, all the doctors are there, and okay, leave me alone. So I do my physical, getting ready for practice, the phone rings. John, thoracic surgeon, cardiologist here at Louisiana Hospital. Hey, look, we don't know how to tell you this, but you're never playing football ever again. You're going to be rushed into an emergency open heart surgery probably in the next 48 hours. You've had a condition that you were born with that has gotten really, really bad, and you're lucky to be alive. So, hey, one more thing. If you look at page 3,412 of your contract, Roman numeral 17-1-7, .II6, there's a little sentence there. It's in half font, not even one. It's just a little half font. And because this is a non-football related injury, it basically voids out your contract, so you're not going to make any money. So, okay, we'll be there in a second. Ah! First of all, I wanted the money. Who doesn't want the money? No money. No. And then now my career's over. No. And I got bitter and angry. And I took my helmet off and I put it in my locker for what was going to be the last time. Nobody around me knows what's going on. And as soon as I got bitter and angry, I kid you not, I'm looking at the reflection of my helmet. That's what's going on behind me. And Drew Brees walked just like this, turned, and just walked straight out the room, and his reflection of his name was right there in my helmet, Breeze. If you ask me, he disappeared like shoeless Joe Jackson to Field of Dreams, just gone. But I remember in that moment right there, don't get bitter and angry, there's no time. Rewrite your story. And in that moment, I remembered that my day one as an Eagle, day one, a reporter named Joe Santoliquito came up to me. Hey, John, I read an article that your mom's best friend, Leslie Moore, sang Wind Beneath My Wings at her funeral. Is that true? Yeah. He said, you're an Eagle now. I know your story. Something's telling me that if life gets hard, open your wings. And my guess is your mom's just going to throw a little wind under there to get you up over the storm. Outweigh the storm, kid. And just remember that the storm too shall pass, and then come right back down where you belong. So I told myself, my mom had the wind beneath my wings for a long time. She traded me to New Orleans to have my life saved by a saint. And then when I was getting bitter and angry, a dude named Drew Brees walked by. And I looked up and I laughed. I said, Mom, I got you. Is this your way of telling me that sometimes we need to maybe just slow down and reevaluate some things, that there's things more important than football? Maybe I need to step out of the wind and catch a breeze? Yeah. I got you. So that's the story I told myself. 2 days later, I was in an emergency open heart surgery. It was about 16 hours. I'm a proud member of the Zipper Club, man. I'm cut from ear to ear, you know it. And now, this is my heart. So this circle should have been that size right there. Not good. So if you follow acting, Bill Paxton, John Ritter, Alan Thicke, all actors that died of this condition. And so what is it? You've got an aorta. It's at the top of the heart. It's how the blood gets out of your heart. We call it a vein or an aorta. And it should be about the size of a dime or a nickel. Well, mine had blown up like a water balloon. It's called an aneurysm. And mine got bigger than a soda can. So imagine your vein in your arm, and there's 2 inches that's bigger than a soda can. Like when a snake eats a deer. That pops, right? If that pops, lights out. You're dead before you hit the ground. So that was one of the things we had done. I spent 35 days in the hospital. The recovery was long. And then I started doing all these interviews, Real Sport, 60 Minutes, Ellen, Oprah, they all wanted the story. And all the interviews I did ended with the same 2 questions. Believe it or not, they said your career, you were setting the tone and like your career just ended. Like, do you miss it? And I'll tell you this right now, I didn't have to think twice. Tell you what, I was a kid, it was Griffey, Buhner, Edgar. They were my heroes, but when I lost my parents, the community donated tickets. And my 6th grade school teacher took me to games, and I sat in section 305 of the Kingdom with a glove and a sign that says, I love you, Griffey. Because in that moment, they weren't heroes anymore. They became hope. A hope for a better life, a hope to be anywhere but here. And in my mind, during the game, Griffey was gonna go, no. Buhner! Dorenbos is here? Bring him on down here and suit him up. I want somebody to warm me up. I thought Griffey was gonna sign me to the Mariners at 13 years old. Now that never happened, but I signed with the Buffalo Bills. And I run out of the tunnel for my first game on August 14th against the Rams. And I look up, and people have signs that say, we love you, Drew Bledsoe. He was our quarterback. And then there was a kid leaning over the rail. And it was me. I was staring at my 12-year-old self. So I stopped, and I realized this, that every one of us have a decision when we can be this much better. And maybe we had a dream as a kid and it didn't come true, but guess what we can do? We can make that dream come true for someone else. And we can still live it, just from the other side. So I grabbed the ball. I wanted to be Griffey my whole life. Grabbed the ball and I went over to the kid. I said, hey kid, I got a big problem. You? What problem could you have? You're the magic guy. I don't think anybody's good enough here to warm me up. You think you can help me out? Me? So now I'm on the field with this kid just playing catch for a few minutes. His parents are taking pictures. And then in that moment, I started to actually just pause and look around at how cool the journey was for me to get to that point. If I never played another down of football, it was worth me playing catch with my 12-year-old self. And then I thought, man, how about every one of us every once in a while, take a second to appreciate your own journey to be here today. How hard you have worked to be in this room today, to celebrate, to join, to change the world. It's a powerful thing. Celebrate that. So now I'm playing catch with this kid, right? And I'm thinking about, man, I played with 6 broken ribs, 6 hernias, separated shoulders, torn ligaments, who knows how many broken fingers, broken ankle, you name it, I did it. You want a fun one? Let's go to Seattle when it's 40 degrees. You got a 30-mile-an-hour side wind, you have a migraine headache, and the runs. Yes! Then you get in the locker room and you're like, awesome, thanks a lot, coach. We're wearing all whites today, awesome. You know what I miss? I played over 250 games in my career. I bring sometimes 2, 3, 4 kids down, which means I played catch with close to 1,000 of my 12-year-old selves. I miss playing catch with my 12-year-old self. That's what I miss. And everyone in this audience, you got a little soul that lives inside of you that believes that the world is good, that believes anything's possible. Don't ever let that soul die. Never stop playing catch with your 12-year-old self. Amen. And then they would ask me, oh, man, we did this article, and then people started posting pictures of me playing catch with their kids, man. Oh, never stop playing catch with that little kid. So then they asked me this, accomplishments you're most proud of. I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't have to think about this, I knew it. I lost to a 12-year-old with a ukulele on the #1 TV show in the world. And 3 days later, I ran out of the tunnel against the New York Jets. And when I picked my head up to find a kid to play catch with, it was the first time in my career that there was a kid I didn't know, that I'd never met. Except this time, he had a sign, and he was holding it up loud and proud. And that sign said, "We love you, Magic Man." Oh. I've never been more proud of myself than to be that for that kid, because I've been that kid. So no matter how hard your life gets, show up every day on time, prepared and ready to work to make this world a better place. So if you